How was your day? Are you enjoying your smoothie? That's a yes. What was your favorite part of today? So today, our nanny was coming down with something, actually yesterday, so she texted us very nicely and asked what we would like to do. And so we said, you stay home, get better. My mom offered to watch the babies.
Hashtag Team Barb.
Yay! Did you have fun?
We did.
What was your highlight of the
We
day?
had a real good time. Probably the dancing and singing.
Did you dance and sing a lot?
Yeah.
Junie, did you dance and sing a lot?
He'd be walking across the room, and then he'd stop and start going like that.
While he was standing?
We'll have to insert the video of Bear walking. It was pretty cute.
Yeah, it was pretty cute.
And you were...
Me and my pal June, we're the best of friends. Oh, MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. And on that farm he had a puppy, E-I-E-I-O. With a here and a there, here a there a everywhere a old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O.
So super awesome that we have my parents so close that they can step in when our nanny can't watch them. And
So close.
so close, like upstairs.
They're literally in their own house.
And then
Literally same house.
soon next door. So this whole situation brought up the conversation, what do we do? Like, we don't have a backup babysitter besides our nanny. And we've talked about getting a babysitter for like date nights and weekends that we want to like go golfing or something like that. Just having another person to fall back on. But it seems like learning their personalities and learning the schedule and all that is hard to have a true backup, you know?
Right. So, I'll just call off work.
Perfect. Oh, what you got there?
Linda, what did we get?
What's in there?
Are you gonna do your video?
That's ridiculous. The win?
Okay, so this is pretty awesome. We've got 3 meals packaged up nicely in here. We've got some meat on the bottom. Which one do we want to start with tonight?
Pork bulgogi.
Pork bulgogi meatballs.
Korean.
We should have everything we need right in
When
here.
I lived in Korea.
Oh.
Used to eat a lot of bulgogi.
What's the temperature outside now? Just measure your hand.
Pretty sure that's inside.
So we're preparing for some really cold
My
weather.
fingertips are
64,
like the rest of the country.
62, 59.
Pretty nice.
Jeez, do mine. This is a pretty cool, like, what is it? Like infrared? I'm 90. And you're what? 63. What's frostbite territory?
They're getting warm now.
So yeah, I mean, it's not gonna be anything compared to what it is like up north.
Minnesota, Chicago.
I feel sorry for you guys.
Michigan.
It's gonna be like, the real temperature tomorrow night is gonna be -1. I don't know what the wind chill is gonna be, but yeah, it's gonna be nasty the next couple days. Makes it pretty hard to get outside. And makes for some really highly cranky, cabin fevered babies.
All right, Rachel and I are having a mini date night, doing some pork bulgogi. What do you think? They're gonna be pretty good?
I hope so. I'm starving.
Well, they're super easy to make. I love how HelloFresh just like sends pictures and these easy steps to follow.
So this isn't necessarily a New Year's resolution, but it is a fairly new goal of ours to not eat out so much.
Yeah.
We've gotten out of hand.
We spend so much money eating out, it's ridiculous.
It is. And just being like haphazard in the grocery store and just like getting random stuff that we never end up using. So one of our goals, and especially since we're gonna be building our house soon, is to save money, eat in more. HelloFresh makes that super easy. You get things that are in season, in the right quantities, delivered right to your door every single week. So you can stick to your goals of whatever your goal is, if it's weight loss, if it's cooking in the house more, eating out less, whatever it is, you can stick to those goals easily.
Probably one of the best parts is the recipes, 30 minutes max, because we usually cook after the babies go down, so like 8 o'clock. So it's good, usually only about 2 pans, and cleanup is a breeze.
So when we first moved in with my parents, we were trying to be like even on who would cook. And so like every other night or a couple nights a week, it would be our turn. And I was super guilty of always doing a stir fry. So I'm in like a huge recipe rut. And if you leave me to my own devices, I'm just gonna grab a bunch of stuff and make a stir fry. So HelloFresh is nice because it broadens your horizons. It gives you new ingredients to try that you maybe never would have bought.
It's awesome to have some bulgogi because I lived in Korea for a couple of years and we used to eat this all the time. So it's cool to be able to eat it again.
Yeah, so HelloFresh is America's #1 meal kit, and their servings are now from $6.99 each, so really great deal.
Is this a teaspoon or a tablespoon?
Is it capital or lowercase?
Capital.
Tablespoon. Men. So it goes without saying, HelloFresh has made our lives a lot easier. I look forward to like getting our HelloFresh package. I don't know, it's something about it. It's all insulated and it's all neat in there. I showed a clip of it earlier, and it's exciting to see that on your doorstep when you get home and see what kind of meals you got.
So if you want to take advantage of HelloFresh's special offer for 2019, get a total of $80 off with 8 free meals in your first month. Go to HelloFresh.com and enter promo code BradandRach80.
So while Brad's working on that, I'm FaceTiming our nephew Connor. It's his birthday. Can we? Happy birthday! Happy birthday, Connor.
Who's that?
Happy birthday, Connor!
Rusty.
Rusty says hello.
Is it your birthday?
Yeah?
How old are you?
6.
6. Oh my gosh. Wow, that's so old. Do you feel taller?
What?
Do you feel taller?
No.
You don't?
No, that's a weird question.
Do you feel like you can run faster?
Why would I feel taller?
Oh,
'Cause you're-
you're on bed.
Oh, well you're older now, you're 6. Can't 6-year-olds run faster than 5-year-olds?
That's a good point. I never really thought about that.
What'd you get for your birthday?
A shower.
You got a,
Shower?
And this slime.
whoa, neat.
And
That is really cool.
Don't bring that over to our house.
Whoa, a monster truck.
That is one gorgeous looking
Plate.
So we have the 4-person kit, which means, and my mom is still pretty jet lagged, so she's in bed. My dad's been working hard, so he's in bed. So we have lunch tomorrow.
Yes. Well, that's depressing.
That's what I get for researching. Yeah, so I just came across a study. I shouldn't have even looked this up. But we
should bring people up to speed if they don't know.
we're currently having a conversation about our next IVF cycle.
When we're going to transfer our next embryo. We have 2 frozen embryos out in Charleston, South Carolina. We live at the Lake of the Ozarks. We already have twins, as you've seen. And now we're in the process of going for another one.
And now that I'm like reading this study that I came across, I'm realizing why, like when we finished our first cycle of IVF and we had 4 embryos, our doctor, he sat down with us on the phone. We had a conference call with him. Ladies. And discussed whether or not we would transfer 1 embryo or 2 embryos the first time. And he kind of said without saying, your chances of having a pregnancy at all are a lot better if you transfer 2 embryos. The reason for that is, and now I'm remembering all of the stuff that he said after that, like I think I was just too excited that we had 4 good embryos. I was ready to get the transfer done and I was ready to have a baby, and I like didn't really think about the implications of what it meant that our embryos were a 6-day instead of a 5-day embryo. Apparently that's a significant thing. So because they're a 6-day embryo, they have a much less chance of a pregnancy, a full-term pregnancy happening than a 5-day embryo. Like I just read this stupid study, and it's a big study, like considering how few people end up doing IVF. This was a large study, and over and over and over again it says like 6-day embryos have a significantly lower rate of clinical pregnancy than 5-day.
So when an embryo is developing, the embryologist watches them grow from day 1 to day 2 to day 3. And we got updates. We got updates on day 1, day 3. When did we get updates?
We got an update the day after we had IVF. And that was to tell us how many eggs were fertilized. So I guess that would be considered day 1.
Mm-hmm.
And then day 3 and then day 5.
Yeah.
That's what you were about to say.
Right.
Yeah. So day 1, day 3, day 5, you got a call from the embryologist. He very quickly gave you a number of how many embryos remained. And it reduces every time. Like they expect it to cut in half pretty much every time, which ours almost exactly did. We started out with like 18 fertilized eggs, and then that went down to like 12, and then 8, and then 4.
Yeah, it like followed because it was in March, so it was like March Madness. So it like followed the NCAA basketball tournament.
Elite 8
Right.
and the Final 4. Yeah, it was kind of sad, but like watching that number dwindle every time was sad, but also we didn't want to end up with a lot of embryos and not be in a position where we were ready to transfer them all. So it ended up being perfect. But, so our doctor told us that on day 5, on day 4, they slowed way down their growth. Like they normally reach a blastocyst by day 5, and ours weren't. So like they were growing normally, and then on day 4 they slowed way down. And then we lost a bunch from 4 to 5, like 4 of them. So because of that, they're not rated as good or something. I don't know. They're not as good quality.
Yeah, I forget what the rating system is. It's like AA.
Yeah, there's like there's like numbers and letters, but he even said like don't put too much thought into that because like the clinical pregnancy rate from the best to the worst embryo isn't that much different. So he didn't care as much about that. He was more worried about the fact that they slowed way down. And so this study that I found said that a clinical pregnancy rate of a 6-day embryo when they transfer 1 is 22%, and that pregnancy would continue on as 19%, compared to a day 5 embryo, which clinical pregnancy rate is 41%. That's significant. That's less than half. It's just like really discouraging. And
so really, when we transfer 1 embryo, we have a 22% chance.
Based on this study. Well, a 19% chance of being pregnant and not miscarrying.
Wow.
Like on top of that, I was already like feeling uncomfortable about the whole situation because we had 4 embryos and we did not genetically test them. And when you get them genetically tested, there's some controversy because they could potentially determine that one is not viable when it maybe would have
Like a false
worked.
positive.
Yeah, it would have worked itself out. We don't know because this is fairly new technology. So when you genetically test embryos, you get about 50% that come back chromosomally normal. So of the 4 that we have 50% that we know are chromosomally normal.
So I guess you could say chances are pretty good that 1 out of the 2 embryos that we have remaining are not viable. Would you say that?
I guess. Or both. If you look at strictly statistics, then chances are we have our viable embryos sleeping in our house right now. It's all a big gamble and it's all a big question mark until you're, I don't know, already through it, I guess.
Right.
Not that this is like even the worst part of it, but the bummer is to find out if those are viable embryos. It's a lot of medicine and a lot of shots. Do you know you have Lindell's?
I just put it in.
Oh, you did?
Mm-hmm. It was right here.
Oh, okay.
So we're gonna end the vlog on a really sad note. But that's IVF. That's the reality of IVF. We are actually going to make a IVF tips vlog here very shortly. And one of the things that we're going to say is that it's a roller coaster ride. It really is. Lots of highs and lows.
Lots of waiting, lots of delays. Man, just talking about like when we got updates on our embryos, it makes me think back to when we were waiting for the embryologist to call. Oh my gosh. That 5 or 6 days was the slowest of my life. And then they didn't call us on day 5. I just remembered. They didn't call us on day 5. They called us on day 3. And then when they slowed way down and they were going to let him go from day 5 to day 6, they didn't even call us to let us know that. Remember? We didn't get a phone call at all on day 5.
I do remember that.
And I was freaking out and like waiting until just the last minute, and then I called the clinic, left a message, and we didn't hear anything until day 6. Ugh. I hope you guys don't have to go through this.
Well, hit that subscribe button if you want to follow us on our journey.
And we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Iris and Rio are not concerned about our embryos whatsoever.